Welcome to the Committee on Public Finance. We have one matter that we want to take up today, uh, and that is the order under Section 22 of the Foreign Exchange Act, number 12 of 2017, the Gazette 2467/67, dated 18 December 2025. Before we start, would you kindly introduce yourselves for the record?
Good afternoon, Chair and the committee. I'm Chaminda Bandara, Assistant Governor. I oversee the Foreign Exchange Department.
Sudat Prasanna, Director Foreign Exchange Department.
Deputy Director for Next Department.
Aishani Aberatna, Director General, Department of Trade and Investment Policy.
No, this is presented by who? Who is presenting this legislative amendment to Parliament?
We presented
Who are we?
Department Trade and Investment Policy, that is Treasury,
Yeah.
because Central Bank submitted through the Department of Trade and
You
Investment
are,
Policy.
sorry, I was concentrating on something else. What is your designation at the Treasury?
Director General, Department of Trade and Investment Policy.
Just 1 minute. Generally, we don't undertake any discussion unless a DST is here. That is our existing practice. But it was my mistake yesterday because my secretary asked me, should we just keep it to the Director General of the Treasury? And I said, okay. It was my error. Usually we have to have a DST, right?
Yes.
So because I made the mistake, I don't want to penalize you, but we will go ahead. But as a practice, don't ask me. Yeah.
Secretary Treasury that needs to be here, if not is appointed officer.
No, it is a Secretary Treasury that has
Yeah,
to
so
normally come, but in this committee, given the workload of the Secretary Treasury,
Yeah, but other secretaries have been here.
yeah, but then, true, but then these people come almost every week, right? And therefore, we have said that we need to have at least one DST. There are 3 DSTs at the Treasury, and that is the practice we have we have implemented. If it is a case that we need to have the Secretary Treasury, certainly he will have to be here. But general understanding between the Treasury and the committee is that a DST must be present. But I made a mistake, so I don't want to penalize you. So, but hereafter, it has to be, it need not be broken, right, this practice. Yeah, so who is presenting it? Treasury is presenting it.
No, the Central Bank will be presenting it.
No, but this is the Treasury. So this is the issue, no? The issue is the Central Bank communicates to Parliament through the Treasury. This is the Honourable Member has been questioning this right throughout. Right? Because you are not represented in the House. Right? You come through the Secretary Treasury. Right? The Secretary Treasury has no role in Central Bank decisions. Okay? So therefore, the question is, where is this connection? Right? And that is a longer debate and a more sort of a policy debate that we are going to have, and we will have that. But there is a disconnect between the Central Bank and the Treasury in any piece of legislation or any update or any report that comes to Parliament. So anyway, that's that we don't want to delay this this is a regular thing that we will get through it, but we will address that subsequently. Yes, go ahead.
Honorable Chairman, as we have already communicated previously, this, of course, this order issued under the Section 22 of the Foreign Exchange Act, it's a continuation of the order issued previously. And in fact, in this order, so the previous order, if you compare with this and the previous one, the only difference that we can see, only the item 3 and the item 4 of the Gazette notification, as you can see, sir, we have allowed increase the limit on outward remittance of capital transaction through business foreign currency accounts. Previously, it was around $200,000. Now, with this order, we have increased up to 500,000. So that is the one of the change that we can see in this present order. And this is basically to facilitate the expansion of the business expansion, purpose of business expansion of these people who are having the basically business foreign currency accounts, who are foreign exchange earners, more precisely exporters of goods and services. And the second, so this is for the older period. Basically, this is issued for 6 months.
Extendable by another 6 months, altogether 12 months maximum.
So a publicly limited company,
Yep.
if required, over 750,000 or something like that, can send 500,000 per 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's $1 million a year.
Out of their funds in
Out
the
of
business
their
foreign
own
currency.
secured funds.
Yeah.
But sir, but not 1 million per year, sir, since the regulatory requirement to have this order only for 6 months, but usually we extend another 6 months. So altogether 1 year, yes. For 1 year,
but
5,000.
it has to be specific, no, if your period is 6 months,
Yeah.
if a company wants to do 2 transactions a year, that's legally permitted. We all better come back, otherwise today's situation is so fluid that nobody knows what the real law is.
So whoever who make the 500,000 here, basically what we have done is that basically for this is given for 6 month period order, so it can be extended by another 6 months. But even if we extended by 6 months, if we had someone who had already enjoyed or utilized this 500,000, will not be allowed to make the 500,000 again with the subsequent 6 months.
Besides companies that can make specific applications, Central Bank can get dispensation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if Haley
Generally, free flow.
free flow
500.
is this.
Yes,
Free flow
That is 500 for the year. That's what the ministry.
Yeah, 500 for the year,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Virtually,
This
yeah.
gazette comes 6 months in.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't irrelevant
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that within a year you can send out 500,000
Out
Practical,
of
yes.
this business foreign currency
Yeah.
funds in the business.
without
Out of
any
his own-
approval.
Out of his own developed
Yeah.
Yes.
funds, you can do it twice a year.
No.
No, no.
Once a year.
Where does this to be? This says 6 months, I saw somewhere on the
Yeah.
line.
No,
6
that
months,
is
yeah.
the gazette. Gazette is for 6 months, but they are quantifying the amount to be remitted per annum.
එහෙම එකක් නෑ.
නැද්ද?
නෑ මේක if you
No, sir. Now, in terms of the section 22 of the Foreign Exchange Act, we can issue a
What
order.
act?
Sir,
what act
section 22 of the Foreign Exchange Act.
of the
Section 22 of the Foreign Exchange Act.
foreign exchange act? Get
Yeah.
the foreign exchange act.
Under that
Section
provision
22.
also we issue the order. So that can be a maximum up to 6 months, but extendable for another 6 months maximum.
No. The question is in your gazette.
Yeah.
It does not say that this is for 6 months. It just says this is the limit.
No, sir.
Per
It is
event
there.
or not, is not specific.
So if you look at the last page, sir,
Yes.
Per annum, whether is it once a year or whether twice a year?
no, not per transaction, aggregate amount per company.
Aggregate per which period?
This order valid for 6 months.
No. I think we are not answering.
Wait,
So
section
order is
22.
Huh?
Section 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at the last page, sir, this order is valid for period of 6 months from 20 December 2025.
Right.
So it says this order valid for 6 months.
Yeah.
There's a provision for extending another 6 months maximum. So altogether it will be maximum 12 months.
So one company, if they have exhausted their limit in the first 6 months, they can't go
They
for
can't,
another.
yes, they
That's
Right,
why you are
okay.
asking, so then it's limited to a year.
Yes.
That's why I'm asking. So the chairman is asking at which document it says this 500,000 cap is for a year.
Oh, that is why I can't say, because as per the provision, we can issue an order for only for 6 month period. So that is what we did.
You're talking with the Solidarity Act
Yes.
12 of 217,
Yes.
and in that you're talking Article 22,
Yeah.
which
section.
is preservation of financial stability.
Yep.
In 1, 2 or 3, what you're referring, there is no time.
No, it's in 3. What it says is this: Minister may, with the approval of Parliament,
Yeah.
by order published in the Gazette, extend from time to time the period of validity of an order made under subsection 1. This is the subsection 1, right?
Yes.
So you are extending it.
Yeah,
Okay?
yes.
However, that the period of such extension shall not in the aggregate exceed 12 months.
Yes.
So, you're extending an order. When was the order originally published?
New order, we issued only for 6 months, as you rightly say. So,
But, one
No, that-
minute, but it says, shall not be in the aggregate exceed 12 months.
Yes.
What does that mean?
it means now, but for instance, we see what particular existing order has been issued for 6 months. Now, if you want to extend this particular order again, so it can be only extendable only by another 6 months.
Right. So,
For
what
the
are you-
order.
Yeah. The same order.
The same order.
Same order.
So, this is not the same order.
No, this is going to be a kind of a different order from the previous one, since we have made a change in the
Volume.
yeah,
Amount. Yeah.
amount.
Threshold.
So let me make it very easy, right?
Yeah.
So we had an order from December.
June. Yeah. Yes. Sir.
June 2018
Yeah.
to December 19.
Yes.
Then we had another order from December 19 to June, right? So say with taking this thing, some organization remitted what was possible in October. Say that was 250,000. Now we are putting a new order in January, right? So this February he sends another 500. Now we are asking whether that is possible.
Yeah. So we have
It's a
a
bridging clause in
particular
the-
clause in the item number 3 of the Gazette. It says that any eligible resident person who has already made outward remittances under paragraph.
Last paragraph of the third page. Sir. Last paragraph of the third page of the Gazette.
I'm referring to the third
Gazette.
page of the Gazette, sir.
Yeah.
Last paragraph. It's a bridging condition, sir.
Okay?
Yeah. 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 We make it continuous the thresholds.
Can you read it again, please?
Item 3 of the
Any eligible resident person
that's right, sir.
who made outward remittances under paragraph blah blah of the first paragraph of the order published
June 1.
under 18 June 2025 shall be permitted to make outward remittance under this order provided that the cumulative sum of such outward remittance under both the aforesaid order and this order does not exceed maximum limit specified in this order.
Yes.
That's
So
correct.
that's annum.
That's right.
Within 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within one.
Because you can only extend once,
Yes.
and during that extension the cumulative can be
So
what is in
complex.
the order.
Yeah. That's why we put this bridging condition, sir.
Yeah, but then what Honorable Minister is asking is different. What he is asking is, your maximum was 200,000, no? In the previous order?
Previous 200.
This is a new order.
Mm.
So last, say December, he remitted 200,000.
December 20th, after the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Right?
we are having a new one.
Now, this month he can remit another 500,000.
Not 500,000.
Why?
No, 200 plus 300 altogether 500.
That's the thing I am asking.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
very clear,
a,
sir.
that is a confusion.
No,
here.
so in the last line of the third page,
Yeah.
not exceeded the maximum limit specified in this order.
Yeah, this order.
That is 500,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can transfer 500,000.
No. So both together.
But then how do you say 6 months?
No, no.
What's the time period?
No, no.
What's the tenure that you are using this regulation?
Tenure is 20th December 2025 to 20th December 2026. So if on the 19th of December 2025,
Right.
because this is dated 20th December 2025, no?
Yes,
Right.
it's only for another 6 months.
No, yeah. So 6 months, and if they continue with this, another 6 months, no?
Yes.
Maximum will be 20th December
That's why 1 billion
2026.
can be sent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Why you
if,
don't want to be so vague? Why can't you be specific?
No,
You
sir.
only give jobs to the lawyers, you give for practical.
no, let me please answer my question. So if somebody remitted 200,000 on the 19th of December,
And 19 means this order.
previous order, no,
Previous
not
order.
this order,
Yeah, previous order. Yeah.
previous order, right? Only 200,000 was possible.
Yes.
Now today that person can remit another 500,000.
No, sir, another 300,000.
Why?
So it's very clear, says, sir.
Yeah,
Provided that
cumulative for the order, no?
cumulative for this
2
order.
orders.
This order means 500,000.
No, but this is a new order, no?
No, sir. That is why we put this bridging condition under the paragraph 3 of the page 3,
Ah,
provided that the cumulative sum
because
of-
18 June 2025 order.
Yes, yes, yes. So they can't exceed the cumulative amount of 500,000.
But only the amount has been changed.
Yeah, so you are referring
Yeah,
to the 18 June 2025 order.
Previous one, yes.
Okay.
So next time, can't you be more specific by saying per annum? It's very confusing.
The only thing, as mentioned director already,
In this order.
the act provided us to issue
Yeah, so.
only for 6 months
At least
period.
created by you all, next time you're doing,
No,
make it more simpler.
unless they change
Say
this.
for the year, it is this amount. It can be extended every 6 months, that's not issue, but ensure it is per calendar year.
So things once we issue,
Yeah.
say
No.
18th June, that's only.
Yeah, but that is your prerogative, no?
Yeah.
You determine which one. Now you have said 18 June 2025.
Immediate previous one. Immediate previous
You
one.
said it,
Yeah.
right? Now, because then 18 June 2026, this ends.
Yes, we'll fresh one.
Yeah.
Which,
Then when in July, can he remit another 500,000?
yes, if there's no change, yes.
If there is no change, he can remit 500,000 in July.
Yeah, if provided that we issue the same order in next June.
Yes.
Yes, 500,000 was
That's 1 billion.
Fresh one.
as a fresh one. Yes,
You can't continue
No, there's only
that year.
that's right. Yes.
three. So here he can do 200,000. He can do another 300,000 today,
Altogether 500,000.
and then another 500,000 in July.
That's
Yeah,
8.
after June. Yes.
This year, next year it will be 1 billion. Because now the 200 is over, now continuing to will go upwards. So that's how it is. Anyway, just want to get a clarification on, what the company's side, what can we tell, like what would they understand from the Gazette?
Oh, so usually these orders from
Yeah,
June,
no, you
like
are
June
wrong.
to June. June to
You are
June.
wrong. No, you can't remit another 500,000 in July.
Possible.
How?
Yes, sir. Now,
Because you're linking this to the June one. No.
that's right.
So in July you will link it to this one.
No, sir.
No.
Because we never linked more than 12 months time.
That's tenure is
Virtually
in their maintaining 12 month,
Yeah, virtually, sir, the cycle is June to June, right?
June to June.
Yeah. So it
It
won't-
started through June.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but then that messes up with corporate calendars, no?
Yeah, that's
Corporate financial years are April to March
Or Jan to December.
or Jan to December. So why do you put something in the middle?
The same reason, sir, we first issued
Started
the order. Yes.
Started
Yeah, so,
and-
but you could have
Don't
adjusted.
access 6 months. No, when you started from that day to 6 months, it's going. If they
Yeah,
started in
that's
April, it would have been April,
Silly, no?
October.
So I mean, why don't you? I don't know. I'm just saying.
No,
Why
it-
don't you synchronize it with the corporate calendar?
Yeah.
It
Just
makes a
think
lot
about
of sense.
it. I think it's easier, no?
Yeah.
Huh?
Anyway, we'll have to issue a extend or in the existing order, extend or issue a new order before the expiry of the existing
So
one.
we are saying, yes, please go ahead.
Honorable Chair, aligning it, but this order was initially issued for whole heap of other reasons due to the prevailing economic conditions. So the timing was relevant to that particular
Incident.
context when we initially issued it.
Yeah,
Then
Assistant Governor, but
continue.
that context has now changed, no?
Yeah. Can I ask something, Chair, with your permission?
Yes,
Now,
please.
before these restrictions, what was there any restrictions or was it free?
Business foreign currency accounts, there had been no
Restriction.
restriction on the remittance for capital transaction out of the funds in the BFCA. It was just, stopped only with effect from the issuance of this order.
Right. So that is due to the criteria, we limited it. Now we are slowly. So what criteria will tell us when can we go back to the previous? Now when our reserves are high, or who's going to tell whether it's central bank is going to decide? What's the underlying criteria to say at which point Sri Lanka will be again having a free flow business account, because that's very important
That's
for
right.
investors.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very clear. Now, in fact, when it was first issued in 2020 and up until 2023, the business foreign people who were holding the business foreign currency accounts were not permitted to make remittance for out capital transaction. But the easing cycle started since 2023 June. And there we started with the 100,000, and then by a subsequent order it was increased to 200,000, and now by this particular order we are going to increase it 500,000. This is particularly in view, due consideration to the foreign exchange earners, particularly exporters, those who have exchanged their foreign exchange currency deposits, who wanted to use this money for their business expansion overseas. So going forward, what we will see that, as you said, that the economic conditions has been improved compared to what was there before. And we have clearly identified a phase-out plan as to further relaxation of this BFCA. I think according to the plan, within next 2 years of time, depending on the then circumstances, we don't know. If it is the market conditions are conducive and the market conditions are supportive for our decisions, we will be able to even go for a complete relaxation of this BFCA funds remittances, because it had been there in the inception that there had been no restrictions.
Agree. So my question again comes, when we say business conditions are good, it's a kind of a vague thing, right? Say I'm an investor who's thinking to invest in Sri Lanka. Now my expectation is that within 2 to 3 years, these conditions will go off. Say that is my assumption. So for me to know what thresholds should Sri Lanka reach so that I can predict my
Yes.
decision. So I am thinking of Thailand and Sri Lanka, right? So in Thailand or Malaysia, there is no restrictions like what we had earlier. Now Sri Lanka has a restriction. Now I need to plan my next 5 years of investments, inflow, outflow, foreign currency, all that. So, but I am not in a position to decide at which point of Sri Lankan stability, which point of Sri Lankan reserves, Sri Lankan currency stability. How do we define that? Because we generally say today is stable, tomorrow it can be much better. But there should be a way for an investor to foresee it's going to happen. Or we can think, okay, going forward, Sri Lanka will continue to have this restriction. Therefore, I am ignoring that and investing in Sri Lanka. Other way is that I am seeing Sri Lanka is doing good, that I can assume this restriction will go off within 2 years.
Okay, Honorable Member. Now, in fact, if you can just see the Section 5 of the Foreign Exchange Act, it says that the funds in the foreign currency account can be remitted for any current or capital transaction. So that's the assurance given by the Act itself. But at the same time, Section 22, what it says, that at the time of any sort of a crisis situation, notwithstanding anything, whatever in the Section 5, Minister, with the approval of the Cabinet, can take a decision to suspend whatever the liberalized condition in due consideration to the ongoing economic crisis, whatever. So that's what exactly we did, Minister did, in terms of issuing this order.
100% in agreement.
Yes.
But
So-
what I'm asking is, when I make a decision for invest in Sri Lanka today, how do I know at what point of Sri Lanka will have a, obviously any point the minister can do that.
Foreigner doesn't have a problem. It is the local guy that goes out has the problem.
Yeah.
So foreign guy, assuming a Thai guy comes here, he'll come under BOI or some protective one, that doesn't apply.
Yeah.
This is only for a Sri Lankan company that is.
Sorry, maybe I'll correct myself.
Yeah,
Even a
correct.
Sri Lankan company, we have few Sri Lankan conglomerates now investing in other countries. So they have to plan their cash flows out. Without that, they will not take a decision. So for them to take a decision.
In fact, Honorable Member, this is a kind of the option that we have given for them, for those who are basically exporters. But nevertheless, this company even can make investment outside the country out of a foreign loan raised from abroad or whatever the equity that he received in the shares of his existing company in Sri Lanka, which can be used for overseas investment. So that perhaps even he can even go beyond the whatever the regulation permitted. Maybe more than 2 million on case by case basis. So this order has given that assurance particularly that whoever who wants to plan a particular investment, he has some more option to do so. Not merely depending on the funds in the BFCA, he has several other options.
Several other options.
For him to carry that through, his balance sheet has to be very strong here, or he must be siphoned on money there to get it. Otherwise, what's the leverage that he can borrow foreign without a strong balance sheet?
Let me rephrase this. The ones who are handling such in accounts, their concern is when do we get a free decision
Liberty to do it.
to do it. So I mean, I know we can't answer it now, but this is how we are going to go, right?
Yes, Honorable.
Okay.
Now, one other thing, you said it's not foreign currency that is accumulated by the company. Any company that has a threshold of 750 million can convert it into dollars, right? You don't need to be dabbling in dollars to send dollars out.
No, this is BFC funds means something in addition to the permitted 750,000 limit. That someone who wants to make the investment outside the country, that company being a listed company, he can go up to the 750,000.
It doesn't got to be from foreign exchange. It can be Sri Lankan company that you can convert $500,000. You said out of foreign dollars. So that's not the case.
This particular limit from this applicable to foreign currency accounts.
Right now, this 2017 Act replaces the vicious exchange control previously. No? That was what IMF wanted at that time. Now, with this, do you find that any of them, Sri Lankans, have misused where the funds are kept overseas instead of bringing it back? Earlier it was mandated, then it was option. Do you find where the monies are being kept out with the central bank, the commercial banks that monitor it?
In fact, with regard to the exports, of course, we have this particular rule issued under the Central Bank Act. It is mandatory that exporters, they have to bring their money within 180 days. So, in due consideration to the problem that you highlight, sir, that we introduce a system, computerized system, connecting the Sri Lankan customs, central bank and commercial banks and also exporters to monitor whether they will comply with this rule issued under the Central Bank Act. So we are continuously monitoring.
So
No,
my
the question
is
you
not
did
about
answer,
that.
no?
My question was whether monies are being kept out. You can theorize, but is it practically money is going out and not coming in?
So now we, based on the source document is CASDEX, so that we can check whether the money referring to any particular corresponding CASDEX has been received or not. The system reflects that the money is outstanding, it means money has not come. So then we can follow up with the particular exporter asking the reason for not bringing the money. So that facility is there in the present system.
So in your 3-year tenure, which has this fairly highlighted and concentrated thing with the foreign exchange coming or not, do you find money is not coming in still?
I mean, in cases when we find that the money has not come to within 180 days, we can inquire.
You're not answering my question.
Sorry, sir.
As central bank, the apex body, which through your banks, are you finding that there is a colossal amount of money still being kept out instead of being brought in? Do you find, with the funds are being kept out?
Like that?
Because we see various people get up and say $30 billion are out of the country. Now that means must be substantiated, no? So you all, the central bank, the commercial banks are the ones that monitor it. Is it right or wrong?
In fact, sir, of course, we can't just see that whether the people are holding the money outside the country, but what we are seeing is that, if it is something related to export, now we have developed a mechanism to monitor whether they are repatriating funds into the country. But if they had repatriated money before,
No, I'm asking only now.
yeah,
now.
before 2000.
The last 23 onwards?
Yeah, in fact, 23 onwards, okay? 23 onwards because the rule is existing and also which requires all the exporters to bring the money. If they have not brought the money to the country as required by the rule, of course we are in a position to see, whether they have complied or not.
So
So is
then
it being complied or not?
penalization or something?
Sorry?
You penalize?
In fact, this particular rule has been issued under Central Bank Act. Then what we have to do is, then we'll have to take action in terms of the provisions under the Central Bank Act.
Now, have you taken any action under the central bank's provision?
There have been instances of such.
What so far we have done is that we select, shortlist the people who have not brought the money, then we follow it up. And as far as, all the cases that we have followed that, we have asked them to give reasons. And at the same time, if it is not acceptable, what we normally call them for the department and we conduct the meetings and all. And in my experience, I have seen that there are a lot of reasons as to why some people have not brought. There are a lot of reasons. Sometimes those reasons are beyond the control of the exporter. Maybe dispute between the exporter and the supplier, and also sometimes due to the quality deficiency issues, and also sometimes problems in their destination
We are
countries,
asking
so and
not
so.
individual matters. Has there been a significant issue or not?
No significant issues.
Significant issue.
There is no.
Right.
Not
No
been issues.
significant. Between 2017 and 2023,
Sir, now in fact, if you can just refer to the in the section 5 of the Central Bank Foreign Exchange Act, the funds in the BFC account where the export used to bring in money, keep the money, so that could be used for any capital and current transactions.
No, the question is whether
Sorry, what
the
is BFC?
export,
business fund.
export remittances are coming in. I think the question was, now we understood, Ravi very well know this. 2017 we opened it up, there was no monitoring mechanism. Now 23 we have brought it in. So what you are saying is, since then there's a detailed analysis of it and you kind of inquire them to see the reasonability. I have one more question, Chair. Now,
So just 1 minute.
Yeah.
But my question was, between 17 and 23, was there any monitoring at all?
In fact, someone who wants to remit money for overseas investment, this particular OIA mechanism was there. So in terms of the OIA mechanism,
What is OIA?
the outward investment account,
Okay.
someone who has taken money outside for investment purposes should have brought the money through the same channel on retirement of their investment or whenever they get the proceeds of the return
But
of
OIA
investment.
for a foreign person who brings money can take it out the same way, no?
That is a different inward investment account. That is exactly the opposite of it. So someone, if they have taken the money outside the country, in terms of the regulation issued, they should bring the money into the country whenever they are retiring whatever the investment or whether they get the capital on their investment, return on investment. So that mechanism has been there. They were supposed to submit all the financial accounts of each and every year in terms of our regulations. So this is about what we were basically concentrating on, no there are any particular conversion involved. The money would have originally gone from the business foreign currency account, because the exporters, they bring in the money to the BFC account, being their export proceeds. So before 2020, from 2017 onwards, in terms of that, the money in the BFC account could be used for their all current and capital transaction. They didn't want to get our permission, but that itself had granted the permission. So that's a perfect capital mobility was there. They should have taken the money outside, and even they were supposed to bring the money at the time of the retirement of any investment. That's all exactly what I can say, sir.
No, I think the question is still on, when you ship something out, there's invoice that goes out, there's a custody. According to those invoices, has the remittances come? So that monitoring, did it took place from 17 to 23? It happened?
No,
That's it has not.
that started from 2022 June, sir.
2022 June.
Yeah.
So,
There was a
Why are you
period that
saying, why are you
we
saying
didn't
not
want.
there? The 120 days that was given was monitored by the commercial banks, and you all were overseeing the banks. Because this was IMF recommendation at that time.
Yes, sir. In terms of the
No, no. Our question is, amidst the exchange control that was there, which was virulent, that was replaced by a more user-friendly, investment-friendly system. The question that was asked was their monies kept outside? It was not that there was no control at all. The banks were controlling. And the thing was, which was 90 days persuasive was made, which was insistive, became persuasive. Now that particular thing was monitored by the banks. So why are you saying that there was no control?
no, what I am trying to explain, sir, now 2017, we are not talking about this existing rule. This existing rule was first issued under the Monetary Law Act, then it was issued under the Central Bank Act in 2024. Okay. Now, but what was prevailing in 2017 was a regulation issued under the Foreign Exchange Act, which required the exporters to bring the foreign exchange within, as you said, firstly it was 180 days, but subsequently it was extended to 180 days. So there would have been companies who are not complying with the Foreign Exchange Act, sir. They have been fully exempted from the Foreign Exchange Act.
Who monitors that? Central Bank? No?
So they were supposed to bring the money, but
No, no.
there was no
My
any
question,
particular
you
monitoring.
quite rightly answered it, that there is a law. Who monitors that? Huh? No, who was monitoring Central Bank?
We didn't have a kind of a monitoring scheme what we have right now, something similar system before 2022, sir.
so let me ask you this to clarify. So between 17 and 22, that people could have exported but not remitted the export proceeds back to Sri Lanka, even though they were legally expected to do so within 180 days.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that, no one knew whether they did it or not.
No one monitored.
Is that correct?
So in the present sense, sir, we didn't have a
No, I'm
computer
not talking
system
present.
right now.
That's now. Central Bank is the regulator for foreign exchange, no? There's no one else. Correct?
So in terms of our foreign exchange, and our objective is to promote and regulate the foreign exchange transactions.
Right. So 17 to 20, when goods were sold in America, they would have been paid in dollars, and the law was that in 180 days, those export proceeds had to be brought back. Now, are you saying that between 17 and 20, some people may have done it, some people may not have done it, and those who didn't do it was never scrutinized? Is that correct?
So in fact, we didn't have a monitoring scheme as such.
I think he's trying to answer in a very diplomatic way. There has not been a structure to do it. So I think this is a very critical information, even for us to understand the crisis. This would have been a course for Sri Lanka, because now whatever we earn, we know we get, right? Only problem now we will have is under invoicing, which you will have to implement that, you know, that tripart arm's length audit, what do you call it? Related party transactions, right? So that audit, I don't know whether Sri Lanka is doing or not, but only thing is now we know whatever is invoiced we get.
Right. No, still we don't, because you are only on the CASDEC. No, what about IT?
So in terms of the IT is basically a service export.
I know that. That's why I'm asking. There's no
Yeah.
CASDEC for IT, no?
Yeah. So we don't have a source document, something
So we
similar
don't
to
know.
CASDEC, sir. First, we are not in a position to monitor.
So whether if we sell overseas IT, whether they bring the money or not, even today we don't know.
So we don't have a system like
No, so
what we
I
use
asked
for
my
this.
question.
Yeah.
We don't know, or do we know, or do we don't know?
We have no way of reconciling it, sir.
I am asking you, do we know or do we not know?
Yeah, yeah.
Do we know or do we not know?
So in fact, they have to report these
No,
transactions
that's not
to
the point. No, this is about monitoring, no,
Yeah.
Director.
Yeah.
The question is, do we have a way of monitoring the remittances or export proceeds of IT, whether they have been brought back?
Yeah, in fact, in fact, banks they have to submit all these
They have
service
to
exports.
submit this, we know, that is
Yeah.
what we are saying, no, between
Yeah.
17 and
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
asking whether you have in your central bank a system to monitor.
So if we are to extend this exports proceed monitoring system to cover these area like IT, which what the India has done for the moment, because we examine the Indian system, they have a kind of a system. Even our team also went there to study in India, was to implement this particular EPMS system to cover these IT systems, and we found that in Indian case also they are not that much successful in monitoring this thing.
You're giving me long answers. No, I don't know why. Normally you give a straightforward answer.
Honorable
So
Chair,
you don't
now-
have a system. I'm assuming
No.
you don't have a system.
Yeah, now since like he's saying, we don't have a source document to go by to reconcile the amounts repatriated.
So that is the question, no, Assistant
that's-
Governor.
Because of that, we find it difficult to do so, but we are exploring the possibility of the banks will not release money without seeing for what purpose the money was remitted. So we are looking at whether there's a possibility of looking at the agreements, service agreements, where the amount could be indicated, where we can reconcile.
Yeah,
with
so basically the answer to the question is no, we don't have a system.
No, not at the moment.
That's correct. So therefore, now what if you extend your argument, Assistant Governor, then between 17 and 20 also the banks should have done it, no? If the banks had to, there was a law, Honorable Minister, exactly my point, right? So if the law was, people were breaking the law left, right and center, assuming they did, there was nothing that could have been done.
May I ask a question this way? Till 2017, was there people keeping monies outside the country?
Till 2017.
17. Till this repeal the act that was there or whatever regulation that was there. Was there monies kept outside the country?
Even under Exchange Control Act, sir, they were supposed to bring their export proceeds to the country.
Now my question is, Central Bank, you said doesn't have the teeth now, but it had all the teeth at that time. Did it come or not is the question.
Yeah. The exemption, sorry. No.
The remittances.
Yeah, because we are
We have
already
time.
running
So
out
I
of
think,
time.
I mean.
In
you
fact,
might not have
in
all the-
terms of the Exchange Control Act, in fact, in 1993, there had been a regulation issued accepting exporters from the requirement of repatriation export proceeds with mandatory export proceed repatriation requirement that they had to bring the foreign exchange to the country, whatever they receive out of export proceeds within 6 months in terms of the section 23 or 22 of the Exchange Control Act. But later on, this was waived, removed in terms of the regulation issued under the Exchange Control Act in 1993. Since then, there had been no requirement to repatriate export proceeds to the country until it was reimposed in 2016.
So that is correct. So in 2016-17, what you did as minister was to bring the money back. I mean, that was the intention. The intention was to bring the money back within 180 days.
Yeah.
Because up to then, there was no such requirement.
Because in
Right? And
1990,
22, you all strengthened it further by
introducing
adding in
this
a-
EPMS system.
Adding in the CBMS system.
EPMS system.
So what system?
Export proceed monitoring system, sir.
Export proceed monitoring system.
Now, how does your peer countries in Malaysia, Indonesia, because look, we are not the only girl on the beach, no. So when we are trying to attract, by putting straitjacket operation, you're only making people more scared. How are you going to voluntarily get them besides the high tax rate that is there? What is the mechanism that you can use in an investor-friendly way to bring it into the country? But that's the modern world, no? Not that even you don't need the export entry to see what is the export of services. You can put it onto that export entry any case as service. But how are you going to friendly get it in? I think that's what you all should educate yourself.
We are running out of time because we have a lot of people waiting outside.
Harsha, one
what we are
question.
yes,
Do
Minister.
we have a transfer pricing act or regulation like India?
I think this is covered under the Inland Revenue Act, I think.
First sale.
Transfer pricing mechanism.
Yeah, because cross-border transfer pricing, Harsha, is where that you under invoice and do
Is it
it.
on the first sale thing, no?
Yeah, so for example, if you have a mother company somewhere and a sister company somewhere, you can under invoice those companies. So the country of the host do the audit to see, for example, when we were operating in India, the Indian authorities were trying to see whether the order from Sri Lanka to India is same value as order from the mother company from Sri Lanka to Vietnam. So so we have to check that. So I don't know whether Sri Lanka do have that kind of a
Yeah.
IRD.
Yes, IRD, yes, IRD.
No, two things. I mean, so one is, as he said, for Inland Revenue, yes. But for transfer pricing, we are on the first one we signed, the second one we haven't.
We haven't signed.
Yeah, so that's where the
So that's also a gap. Harsha.
Yeah, that is a
So
gap.
we need to one thing, and the other place with the IT companies, if you don't have a source per se, the Inland Revenue, they have to submit their accounts, minimum, the financial details and the profitability. That is also a good indicator in hindsight to see whether, I mean, I don't know whether they are conning or not, but at least because the employees of that company is vigilant about the profitability because of the bonuses. So basically to Inland Revenue, they can't give so much of a deviation. So if you use the Inland Revenue revenue and check against minimum that revenue has come to the country, which is
Then what do you need the central bank for?
no.
What do you need the
No.
central bank?
They don't
So
have.
your point is
no.
right.
They said they don't have a source to check. No, like a CASDEC. What I'm saying is you have the annual return. The revenue is there in the annual return. Am I-
I'll tell you what.
Can I ask,
Yeah,
where
since
it's a
we are
pertinent-
running out of
On
time.
the basis of MAS and companies of stature, which has gone up, they did after the high taxation, they had only a value-added revenue coming to the country, no? Have you all as central bank found anything out on that basis? So otherwise, all this is a waste of time. If the companies of repute, you're unable to get, the one-man operating company you'll never get. So have you found that out?
I'll tell you what, because this is a longer discussion, what we are going to ask you is to send us a sort of a, perhaps even a working paper. I may even call it a working paper because there seems to be gaps that need to be filled, right? And we can perhaps look at all these issues what the minister raised about the transfer pricing issue and about the IT, documentation, source documentation issue.
Can
And-
we get to the 93, 96, to all those things and
Yeah.
find what has been the exchange
Yeah.
that has been supposed to be kept out of the country? Because there are various stories that come, $20 billion, 36 billion is the last one. Humanly it is impossible.
Yeah.
But let us, let
don't-
us feed that
Yeah,
number.
unfortunately, Lakmal is not here. She would have known the number. Right, so what we are going to do, no, we don't have time. What we are going to do, SNA Governor, is we will ask you, we'll send a letter, but essentially what we want to do is to understand the issue and see how we can
And give
also.
them another time,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that they can bring it
So,
up.
may I say that for information, Honorable Chairman,
Yes,
that because that we know that there are so many sectors in the service, it is very diverse field, so that even countries like India won't go into the monitoring of each and every, but they have instead has selected the IT sector, as you said. In fact, but how they have done is basically.
No, sorry, we just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off because they have the governor and everybody is waiting outside. So we will ask you to present to us. We'll have a actually working meeting here, right? On a sort of a working paper, right? And that should tell us, okay, what was the case previously, what happened in 2017, what happened in 2020, where are we now, and what are the gaps, and then as a committee on.
They did it for the third year. That way, 93 they said no.
Yeah.
So 93, 96.
You
take
have all the
the
data.
points that you feel
Yeah.
as the apex body. What are the problems that you find bringing this money in? voluntary.
Yeah, so it will be a sort of a discussion here.
Honorable Chair, it will be purely based on what is available with us at the moment, because we will not be able to, we are also like, I joined 2021, this particular department he was, so sometimes institutional knowledge, if it is not there on documents, whatever is available will.
So what do you mean it's not there? It has
So
to be
in the
there?
sense like certain gaps, for instance, if there's no data, then whatever we have, we'll
Yeah, yeah,
work on that
obviously.
and
No,
give.
Deputy Governor, the thing is every year there had been a review on this team, no? So, I mean, basically the central bank would have presented every year what are the gaps, what are the challenges they had in those years,
Whatever is
whatever the
available based
institutional
on that, we will-
information.
yeah, because it's going to
It
be
doesn't
long
matter
pe-
who was
longer
there at
period-
governing.
No, the
That's-
longer period, if the, when the date, whatever the data is there, we'll present based on.
Sure,
that.
sure.
Sure,
But
sure.
if data is not there, means it is not legal. You can't be on a hypothesis.
Have we based on that,
Yeah,
honorable
so
member, we'll.
what you don't have doesn't exist. All what we want to know is what you all feel that is basically not being brought into the country.
Okay,
For
well,
some
I
people,
really don't want to get into a discussion here because it's not courteous, those people have been waiting
No,
for
no,
1
no.
hour.
Send them off without knowing what we want to get. What we want to get is very specifically what should come into the country in a legal manner, should have come or not. If it has not come, it's illegal. If it has come, it is legal.
No, previously it was not illegal now for if it didn't come. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, it was not illegal then. So, I mean, if you contextually explain, let's have a discussion on that. Right, okay, thank you very much, this is approved. Right. Ara, may Anit Khatiyala end again, you'll have to be here, no? Right, okay.